Hello friends, my name is Mikko. I am having a YouTube channel called Desi in Sweden. This video I'm making so that people can understand how they can get driving license in Sweden. First of all, I would like to tell you that getting a driving license in Sweden is very difficult. It's not like in the other countries. It will take time, approximately 3 to 4 months if you are dedicatedly involved in it. And you have to be a little bit patient, and if you get failed in any step in theory or practical exams, don't be disappointed. Just retry as quickly as you can so that result will become positive. So let's start. Here I have 7-8 bullet points which are needed to get a driving license in Sweden. Sorry. And then the first thing is like eye test, and then you register in the transport department, then you do a couple of trainings. And here I have a supervisor training, which is a important tip to reduce a cost. And then you have a practical exams, and then you get a license. So let's start with the first point, which is eye test. For the eye test, you can go to any optician, or you can also do it at the driving school. Cost is around 200 crowns, and then you need to register to the transport department that you want to drive, and then you give your all the details like personal number and other details. So it's like these two things, eye test and registering in transport department, should be done at the same time. So maybe on the same day or one day later. There is no particular sequence. You just go and get the eye test. Eye test is needed for transport department so that they can approve your application. Yep. Then we have a risk one. It's a classroom training for about 3.5 hours. You can go to any driving school. They can arrange for you. It is done in English and in Swedish. They tell you about what are the risks of driving. So like if you drink alcohol and then you drive, then what are the fines, what are the punishments, and what are the risks involved in driving, which can impact you as well as to the society. So these are the things which they will tell you. Once this course is done, they directly inform the transport department. This course is valid for 5 years, and the cost for this is around 800 crowns. You can negotiate with the driving school. They can do it in 700 as well. Some schools are now charging 900, so it's a little bit negotiable. And then this is a prerequisite for theory test. So you need to do it before you appear for a theory exam. Then you have a risk 2 training. It's a practical training for about 4 hours. You go to a dedicated place. Your driving school can arrange it. And here you drive on a slippery road, you drive on a summer road on a different speed like 30 kilometer, 50 kilometer, 70 kilometer per hour. And then you see how the car behaves when you brake on a slippery road, how far it goes. And these are the things which you will get to know in practical. It is helpful because in Sweden we have a lot of time snow over here, so it is very much needed to know how the car will behave in snow. This course is again valid for 5 years. The cost is around 2300 crowns. Again, once you do it, the driving school will directly send information to the transport department. You don't need to do anything. And this is again a prerequisite for a theory test. In parallel, you can go to any driving school. You can start having a practical sessions with them. They are generally for 1 hour and they cost around 800 crowns. The school will tell you different things. They have a proper syllabus, like they will do roundabout, positioning the car in the residential area, how to drive on highway, parking. They will tell you each and everything. It might go slow. It depends on the driving school as well, and it also depends on you, how quickly you learn. Sometimes people take 15 classes, so if you are able to learn driving in 15 classes, then it's really good. But some people take 20 and even more. So this is really a costly thing over here. Each class is costing 800 crowns, so of course it takes a lot of money over here. Now comes supervisor training. This is a very interesting training. It's an optional course which will help you in reducing your overall driving cost. And this is a classroom training for 4 hours. Both you and your supervisor has to take this course. Before the supervisor can take this course, he should have a license for at least 5 years. then only he can teach you driving. And in this training, they will tell you about the roles and responsibility for both supervisor and for the student. So suppose if you are driving with your supervisor and you break a rule, then it means that a supervisor is breaking a rule and he can get a ticket on his license. This course is again valid for 5 years. The cost is around 400 crowns, which means 400 for you and 400 for a supervisor. Once completed this course, the driving school will send information directly to the transport department. After that, your supervisor also need to send the information to the transport department so that they can associate a student to a supervisor. At a given point of time, supervisor can have 5 students, which means he can teach 5 students at a point of time. And this is an optional course. So suppose if you have a friend who can become a supervisor, you can talk to him, you can pay him for fuel, and then you can reduce the cost. Or if there are some professionals who teach on their personal car, they charge about 300 crowns per hour, you can also learn from them. So this will help you not going to a driving school or taking less classes from driving school, and then you can do some training with your supervisor. Then comes theory exam. Theory exam is for about 60 minutes. You need to go to the transport department to give the exam, and you can book it from the Traffic Workers website. You can prepare yourself from a driving license book. They are digitally available. They are physical books. You can do that, and then you can start giving a practice test. You can use an app called Short Online. They provide you 1000 questions. You can do the test. Once you start getting 90% in your exam, practice exam, you are good to go to give the test. In the test, you will see 70 questions, but they will only consider 65 questions. 5 questions are mock question, which they will introduce later. So they will only consider 65, and then out of 65, you need to make sure that you get 52 questions correct in order to pass. The validity of this theory test is 4 months, which means after passing a theory test, you need to get the practical and pass it within 4 months. Otherwise, you need to do theory test again. And the cost of this theory test is 325 crowns. Then comes the practical exams. Your driving school can also book it. You can also book it yourself using a Traffic Workers website. And the test is about 45 minutes, but you only drive for 30 minutes. Initial 5-10 minutes are like the rules and the guidelines from the inspector. And the last 5 minutes are the feedback, whether you're pass or fail. And if you're fail, then what are your improvement area. So whenever you go for a test, be confident and don't be afraid of anything. Just drive normally. Just execute what you have learned from a supervisor or your driving school. Always check blind spot. And the inspectors, they want you to overtake. They want you to see how you are overtaking on a motorway. So try to do that, and always control your speed limit. Once you get your license, it is valid for lifetime. You don't need to renew it again and again. The cost of this driving test is 800 crowns, and then you have to loan a car. So either you can do it from a traffic school or driving school, or from Traffic Worker. Cost for loaning a car is 600 crowns. So once you are passed, you will receive a license card, and this card costs around 280 crowns, which you need to pay to the Traffic Worker. One more thing is that once you get a license, the initial first 2 years are the probation period, which means if you break any rule, then the license will be revoked. But after 2 years, if you break any rule, then you might get a fine or a ticket, or they can take your license for 1 month, 2 months, depending upon the rule which you have breaked. So overall in Sweden, the average cost of driving license comes around 15,000 crown. So if you are able to complete the entire process in 15,000 crown, then I would say you have achieved a milestone. Feel proud about it. But sometime in some cases it goes to 20,000 as well. That is also accepted. But more than that means that you have spent a lot, and try to reduce your cost. But I believe this information is useful for you, and I hope you will get the license soon. Happy driving. Bye-bye.